Welcome back, Linux enthusiast. This is the 6th episode of our Linux series. If you have missed any of our previous episodes, click on the link above to access it. In this video, we'll be talking about process management in Linux. To learn more about Linux, you can check out our DevOps course. The link is available below in the description box. So let's start the video without wasting any time. So in this topic, we'll be talking about process management. We'll be talking about how to create cron jobs, how to reschedule them, how to set up those things. So let's start with the, with the process management. So you see in the slides that, there are various commands which are usually being used for the process management. For example, ps, top, kill, jobs, bg, and fg. So these are the commands which are usually being used for the process management. After that, we will see what are the types of processes are available. One is a foreground process, one is a background process. Foreground process is something which runs on the front itself. You see on the shell, it takes the space and it does not let you perform anything else, which means the process is currently running. A background process is a process which runs under the hood. That means that you don't have to just wait for that process to complete. You can do your own task, whatever you would want to do, but the process will keep on running under the hood in the background. So those are the background processes. After that, we will see the tasks, how to schedule tasks. Task means something you have set up a reminder to perform anything automatically, so that let's say you would want to perform any script at night 2 a.m. so you don't have to wake up and execute that script at 2 a.m. in your system. So you can set up something like called cron tabs, cron jobs, and then AT jobs. AT jobs are usually for the one time, but for cron jobs are rescheduling multiple times. So we will be talking about that in this topic. So let's jump to the demo without wasting any time, and I'll just show you how to create those processes and how to see those processes. So there is a command called sleep command, which basically sleeps the process. It just basically telling that I am sleeping for 100 seconds, but you see that the process is running now on the shell and I cannot do anything here, because until this process is complete, this is called foreground process, the process which is running currently on the shell, and you cannot perform any other actions on top of it. So what I have to do is, if I press Ctrl Z, the process will be stopped. Okay, the process is currently stopped. If I say there is a command called jobs command which shows you that what are the processes running, what are the processes which are in the starting state. So you can see with the help of jobs command. What if you would want to start the process? So again, there's a command called fg command which brings the process into foregrounds, which means that foregrounds means it brings the process again back on the shell. Okay, and you can see the process running. So then again, if I say Ctrl Z, it again stops and goes in the background, right? But it is not running in the background. It is currently in the stopped state. I want a process to run in the background, okay, not to be in stopped state. So what I can do is, I have to basically add a keyword called end. So this %, what it does is, it creates the process, but it always runs in the background. So if you look at here in the jobs, so there is one process which is currently stopped. Okay, why it is stopped? Because we have pressed Ctrl Z and to make it stop when it was in the foreground. And one process, there is sleep 1000, which is the sleep for 1000 seconds, and then this process is currently in the running state. Okay, but it is running in the background. Background means I can do whatever I want to perform and stuff. So I can use this shell, but the process is still running in the background. So what if you would want to resume a process in the background? So you can do background %1. So what it does is, now you see this process is showing done now. Done because it would have already been waited for 100 seconds, and that's why it's showing done. But let's create this again, and then we will see the difference here. So I'm pressing Ctrl Z, it has stopped. Now I'll say to resume the process, but don't let it do in the foreground. So %1 is nothing but ID, but this is ID currently assigned is 3. So you can see jobs. So currently the start process has an ID called 3. Okay, so you have to say BG, which means background, percentage, and then 3. 3 is nothing but a process ID. So now you see jobs again. Both the processes are currently running. So that's how you can start a process which is in the stopped state in the background. You can use command BG, and then you can let the process run in the background. And to run in the foreground, you can use FG command. Okay, so those are the commands that you can use. What if you want to kill a process? So you can use command kill. Okay, sudo, you have to use sudo, and let's see what happens. Okay, still running. It has not killed. So kill is basically what it does is there are a lot of options in the kill. It basically sends an instruction or a signal to the kernel saying that I want to kill this process. I don't want to keep it running. So the forcefully kill is something called kill -9, and then you can put the process ID, and then let's see what happens. Okay, still running. It is not killing it. Maybe sorry, this is the job ID. Let's find the process ID of it. So there is a command called PSAUX, and then when you grab that sleep 1000, so sleep 1000 is basically saying that this is a process ID. So the earlier what we were seeing is the job ID. So this was the job ID, %3. So this is a process ID. So now you have to kill it via this process ID. So you can say kill and then process ID, copy it and then paste it. Now let's see what happens. Do we see that job now? Okay, the job is terminated. It's showing terminated. Why? Because the job we have asked to kill, we have sent a kill signal to the kernel saying that I want to kill this process, I want to terminate this process immediately. So it will kill it. And if you run this command again, you will not see any of the command running. Earlier we were seeing this process was running, but now there is no such process because we have already terminated this process. So this is how you can kill. There are other options in the kill command. You can open the manual and read about that. Kill -9 is basically you can kill all the process and forcefully. So there are other commands of the kill which basically are being used in the same manner in order to kill the processes. Okay, so you can take the reference. It sends the signal, and in -9 it sends the sig kill. It's a signal which will immediately kill the process. So that's how you can use the manual. Now PS command is the command which shows you what are the processes running. But if you would want to see the all processes, then you can use PSAUX. PSAUX will show the processes to you, all of it. But you see this, it's showing like a cat, cat command output. It's not showing me the live, but I want to see it live. So how do you see that? So for that, there is a command called htop. In htop command, you can see it live, which means whatever the changes will be happening at this real time moment, you can see those changes, you can understand this, and you can get some information out of it. So I'll just give a little of idea to you what this is actually. So on top, basically you see there are tasks running 147, 150. So these are the tasks which is running currently, how many threads are using, how many CPU is being used. So this is a load average. It is showing to you load average is being used for the CPU to identify how much load is present on the CPU for 1 minute, 5 minutes and 15 minutes. How much is the uptime of this system, and so stuff. So these are the columns that you see. PID column basically is a process ID. User is the user which is running this process. Okay, then you see PRI, this is nothing but a priority. Process priority, it is 20, so that is a priority of a process. Now NI, you see this is called a nice value, which is basically used to determine the priority of a process. After that, you see there are VIRT. VIRT is nothing but a virtual memory used by the process, and then we have resident memory used, which is a physical memory. So it is currently using 198 MB. We have memory total is 1.91 GB associated with this virtual machine where we have deployed the Ubuntu OS. Okay. So, and there is one more memory called swap memory. We'll be talking that in the uh, in the topic where we'll be discussing about CPU information, memory information, how to check those stats. That time we will be discussing in that detail. So while creating this virtual machine, I would want to say that I chose to give it to 2 GB out of my entire system, which was having 16 GB of memory, right? So only the hard capacity, the top limit of this memory is 2 GB, and out of that 2 GB currently it is using 1.19 gigs. And from that 1.19 gigs of memory, this process, particularly some Firefox process which is running currently here, so this process is using nothing but 209 MB of your memory, resident memory. Then this is a shared memory, how much it is using, and then these are process stats. So R is for stop running, S is for sleeping. So these are the processes which are currently in the sleeping mode. So you can just scroll down, and with the mouse up and down key you can see. So all these processes are currently stopped, but there is one process you see htop, because we have executed this htop now. So this process specifically is in the running state, because it is displaying you the output of what htop command does. So that's why the state of this process is running. Remaining all these processes are sleeping state, which means they are not using enough memory, I would say, because see, there are some sessions which are already exist, so some sort of a memory is being allotted, but they are not in the current running state. And after that, whatever this is systemd, you see this is nothing but a kernel. Some kernel is doing some actions on top of it, right? Because see, kernel is always active. So when you drive a car, the engine is always active. Doesn't matter you drive it slow, you drive it fast. If you're accelerating fast, which means engine has to perform very fast. If you're putting a brake, then also engine has to perform something. But if you're driving your car on the ideal engine, then also engine has to perform something, but will not be of that capability, right? So similar to this, currently we are not having any heavy load process running on this machine. That's why majority of processes are in the sleeping state. But whenever still the car is driving, right? So that means engine will be involved. Similarly, the kernel will be involved in order to monitor those processes which are still in the sleeping state, or if there is any new signal which is internally happening to the hardware. That's what you see, sometimes you see the running and then, sleeping states. So those ideal changes at the real time, you are just seeing up in the htop command. Okay. After that, you see how much percentage of CPU usage by this process, how much percentage of memory usage of this process, and then total CPU time used by the process. This is the time plus how much total time it is consuming of the CPU, and then the command that you are currently executing. So these are the options that you see here. Yeah. And after that, it displays the CPU to you, and it displays the memory and swap memory to you. So CPU usage bar, you see it's like using 6.61. Yep, it's using 6.61, 4.6%, and so it's basically fluctuating here. And then the memory it is being consuming the swap memory. Swap memory is nothing but you are a memory which is a physical, not a physical RAM, but it is using from the storage itself. So from your storage, the memory which is being consumed is called a swap memory. So it is useful at some times, but it will not give that much performance of the real RAM in this case, right? Because it is not a physical RAM, it's a storage that it is being used as a type called swap memory. Yeah. After that, here you can just see the additional there are some additional features you can customize this by, let's say, if I press F2. Yeah, so here if you press F2 in your keyboard, you will see the category of it, and then you want to see the tree view, you can see the tree view. You can select it via your space bar, and that will let you choose or unchoose the option. So you can just choose like this, and then it will show you in the tree format the commands which are being executed currently. So those are the changes that you can do here. Let's press F2 again and see what all options it has. So in the display options, you can go down. You want to see in the red or yellow colors, you can see the changes because that is selected currently. That's why we are seeing in some good color all these information are being showing up. Then header layout, you can see how many columns, maximum 2 columns, 50 by 50. So those changes you can always do, on the screen, main screen and input output screen. So you see, so this tells you about available columns that is present. So PID, state, PPID, all these information it is displaying to you. So you don't have to remember all the time that what is S time, system CPU time, what is CU time, which is a children process user CPU time. So processes is not just a one process, right? So let's say there is a big process. Now in that big process, there are always be multiple children process. We call it as a sub process. So for that time, sometimes what happens is the main process is just waiting for some output from the child process, but child process itself is too heavy that it is not unable to finish it with time due to CPU constraints or memory constraints or some other issues. And because of that, the parent process, the main process, also hangs up or makes it unusable. So those are the stats. You can just try to read it. You can do that by exploring here. After that, commands, colors, you can change color, default color. You want to see into monochromatic, you can do like this. Then black and white, light terminal, MC, black night, broken gray. So these are the all options that is present, and you can just manipulate whatever you would want to do. So you see here that this is first process of Linux OS is init process. That is nothing but of its kernel. That is the first process always, because see, without engine, car cannot be driven. It cannot be shifted or it cannot be driven just for 1 meter also, right? It has to have the engine started, because until engine will not be started, car cannot be shifted from one position to another position. So similarly, here also the first process has to be kernel. Once kernel gets started, when you boot the system, after that all the child process of the kernel are being executed in the background. Sometimes they are in the sleeping state, sometimes they are in the running state, depending on what kind of a program or processes you are using or you are currently running in your system. So that is about htop. It's kind of little detailed discussions with we did here. Now let's talk about how do you change the priority that we saw in the htop, right? So there are commands that you can change the priority. So let's say if I say nice, nice is the command. You change the priority, let's say to 10. So sleep 300, okay, and let's say ampersand. I want to run it in the background. Now let's go to htop. Now here you see any running process. Let's see jobs. Okay, it's running. PSAUX, grep, sleep. Okay, so currently you see the priority, it is assigned to here, and then in htop actually we can see, but it's just that sometimes it does not come up because there are a lot of processes which are running currently. So if it shows up real time to you, then it's great. Otherwise, so the changes that we did is we did this changes actually with what priority you would want to set, 19, 20, 10 and whatever, right? So those are the priorities that we were basically trying to change it. So the command that we executed, what it explains is that it sleeps the process for 300 seconds, but with the priority of 10. So the default priority is set to 0, but we are explicitly making it to 10 so that it goes with the higher priority. And then you can just shift the priority based on your process. So let's say, for example, you have any important process to run and should give, so CPU should be given the first priority to that process. How do you do that usually? So with the help of nice command, you can change the priority to the process and make sure you are giving this instruction to the system saying that I want this process to be executed with the high priority. All the processes, let it be with the normal priority, but first finish this. After that, you can just do your ideal things, whatever you would want to do it. Similarly, there is one more priority change process command, which is renice. That also you can use, and then you can change the process ID. So let's say I want to change this process ID to set it to different this thing. So now you see the old priority for this process was 10, and the new priority for this process is currently 5. So this is how you can change once the priority is set for any process with the using renice command. So that's how you can change it. What if you want to change the priority for all the processes owned by a user? So a user who basically executes any process, you want to change all the process priority, so you can use sudo renice -n 10-u and then username. So now any process which is currently running with the test 2 user, by default the process ID priority is 0, but you want to change it to 10. So whenever the user test 2 will be executing anything, the priority will automatically being set to 10. Okay, so let's try to see this. Sleep 1000 and then n%. Okay, jobs are here, fine. Now let's see this. What if I try to renice -n with 5-p? Let's first grab this sleep 1000. Okay, I'll grab this, copy, and then renice -5-p, paste. Okay, so let's use sudo. So the old priority, you see, it was 10. Why it was 10? Because we have changed the user level priority. So whenever this user will be executing any process, default priority should supposed to set as a 10. We already set this, and after that when I try to change it to 5, it tells me the old priority was set to 10. By default, for any process for run by any user, the priority is being set to 0. But we give instructions here, and after that we change the priority to 5. So that's how you can do. What if so these are the basically changes you can change for the priority for the process or for the user. You can make all these type of changes here. And so you can see there are some important notes to remember, that root user is the only user who can assign the higher priority values, negative nice values you want to set. So negative here, which means the high priority. So if you would want to set negative priority, so you need root user privileges. And you can use psaux command, or the top command also. Top command also does the same stuff, but htop is like in the more colorful and more other information ways you can see. So top command also shows you the same information over here, and you can see the same stats of priorities and other things. So, but you cannot filter out and set any filtrations on specific columns, or you cannot change the color of it, or you cannot filter like a tree. Hopefully there might be some option with the top command, but htop has some additional features in the way of representing stats in the top, and htop is really different. Here also you see load average and slow sleeping process, zombie process. So these are the process states basically. It's showing up here with the memories used and CPU used. So this is the process. So it's required, it's very important, the process when basically you are executing any process, you are running any softwares on top of your machine, and then you see, okay, this is a process which I should run. At that time, the process is very important to understand the process management, to change the priority of the process, to kill the process. So all these things are very important for any system admin or somebody who is managing the Linux. So you should be aware of it. So that's all we discussed in the process thing. Let's talk about something about cron, rescheduling the task and how do you do that and stuff. So before just going there, there is a syntax which you should know of cron. So syntax looks like this. There are 5 times star and then the command, whatever the command you would want to do. So this 5 star means that any command, any script that you would want to execute, when you would want to execute. So the first column, first star explains the minute, which is 0 to 59. Okay. The second one explains the hour, which means 0 to 23. So we have 24 hours in a day. So 0 to 23. The third one explains the day of month, which month, 1 to 31. Okay. And the fourth one explains the basically the month, how many months we have in a calendar year, right? 1 to 12. So this is a day of month, this is month, and this is a day of week, which is 0 to 7. So let's say there are various use cases for the users who would want to set uh, the rescheduling task or anything. So they prefer to set up at particular time or particular time up in a week or some other week or stuff, right? Or in a month. So how can they do it? With the various example we will be seeing. But first let's check how to see if there is anything already present. So currently there is no scheduling task available for user test 2. There is a command called cron tab, which basically tells you, list out and performs any actions you would want on top of rescheduling things. But what if you want to set the reschedule the cron job? So you can use cron tab -e. E is used for editing. So it's asking me which editor you would want to prefer. I always prefer Vim. So let's try with Vim Basic. So this has opened a file for me. And here you can see this entry, right? So for example, also it's trying to explain here that at 5 a.m. every week. So 5 a.m. means you're just giving a time 0 to, so the second column, if you remember, this is 0 to 23. So at 5 o'clock in the morning, every week means in a week, we have 0 to 7 days. So every week, Monday, this will execute at 5 a.m. and 5.00. So this 00 is the 0th minute of 5 a.m. So as soon as 5 a.m. In the clock happens, at the 0th minute of 5 a.m., this will execute every week. Every Monday it will execute. Okay. So that is what it is explaining in the configuration file. Similarly, you can make the changes. Let's say you would want to run a script every hour. So you can say 0, 0, 0 star 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 star, and then let's say script anything /home parallel / I have a script for password check _check.py. okay, but this script requires Python as well. So let's do this Python 3. So what does this mean is that 0th minute means that every hour, in every hour 0th minute, this script will be executed. That is what it is trying to explain here. So similarly, you can change. Let's say you have a requirement where you would want to set any command which is executes every Monday at 2 p.m. So what you can do is 2 p.m. for 14. 14 stands for 40 stands for 2 p.m. So in Linux, it's not like about AM and PM things. So it understands from 0 to 23. So 14 stands for 2 p.m. obviously. Or 14th 2 p.m. 0th minute every day we want only for the Monday. So we have set one here, the last column, which is the day of the week, which is a Monday. What you want, let's say any script, anything, I don't have that script at this moment, but yeah, anything you would want to execute. Or let's say I want to execute ls-l, or I want to execute sleep, any command also in the background, let it run. So you can set this up. So the second example is basically setting up for every Monday at 2 p.m. this sleep 1000 seconds should automatically being executed in the background. So that's what it is explaining. So now let's see, how do you redirect the output? If, for example, you have a script which prints some output and you would want to redirect that output. So for example, let's say, similarly, star star star, I want to echo, hi, this is StarAgile. Okay, and then print the output here into home directory, say file.txt. Every minute I would want every minute, let's say every minute. Okay, so this is like basically every minute and every second it will start executing. So this is file.txt. It is basically trying to add up here, and I don't want any type of null values here. So let's see, cron, installing the cron. Now if you see cron tab -l, you will see we have the cron which is currently present here. Now let's see, does it basically creates any file or not. File.txt. Currently there is no such files. We will wait for some time and see if it generates any file or not. Meanwhile, we will proceed with the redirections. You can have a double redirection here as well. Like single redirection, we talked about the overwriting, but the double redirection, if you would want to append, anything that you can do. See, now every second is what we marked, so the file is automatically being created. And what message should supposed to have it? Hi, this is StarAgile. So if you say file.txt, it has a message called StarAgile. But in the next occurrence of this cron job, every another minute, so after after another minute, so what it will do is it will keep on writing the same and overwriting this stuff. But I don't want that. I want it to be appended rather than overwriting. So what I will do is I'll change the redirection here and say double redirection, which means it will append this hi, this is StarAgile, the same string again and again in the same file. So now I have installing the new cron tab. Just wait for some time until it executes, and then we will see the changes here. So, and also you can see the size will keep on increasing, because as soon as we will keep on appending the data, depends on what amount of data that you are appending to a file or you are saving as an output, right? So depending on that, the size will increase. So if it is very small, then slightly you see the increment of size. If it's not that small, then you will not see the size of it actually. And yeah, match, no, okay. So let's see the content again, what it has done. So now you can see it has appended another entry here. So this cron job is basically trying to every minute it is executing, and then it is actually in every minute, 0th second of every minute, it is basically trying to echo this, which is print. Echo command prints the output, and then it is redirecting that output, appending it in the same file.txt. So that's how you can set the cron. What if you want to remove that cron? So you can use cron tab -r. After that, if you say cron tab -l, there is no cron set because we have removed it. So in order to remove the cron, you can just remove it by using cron tab -r. So that you can do. And if you would want to set the cron job for any of the user, so you can use command sudo, then cron tab, then user, and then let's say I want to set this for StarAgile. I'm not sure if user is already there or not. We'll see. And -edit. Okay, use vim. Okay, let's add it every minute. I want echo. This is your trainer. Sure, and then append it. And I want this to be in home, parallels, and then StarAgile file.txt. Okay, I just hope this StarAgile user is there. Yeah, it's there. Cool. We will just see what happens now. Let's just wait for this file to be created there, and after that we'll see with the user test 2 we are able to create a cron job for StarAgile user. That also you can do. So it'll just take a bit, and then after that as soon as this minute gets over, it basically, you know, creates a file and append the data. Let's check date. Okay. StarAgile. So currently we are at 11:51. We'll just check at 11:52 what happens. Okay, let's see. Still not there. No worries. We'll just try to see that Chrome. Switch user, StarAgile, and then here, okay, cron tab -L. Okay, cron job is there. This is your trainer, home parallel cell. Copy, paste, permission add. Okay, so the file is created inside Parallels StarAgile, not in the StarAgile. So we were checking the wrong location. Let's just exit it and then go to user. We would need sudo access for this because this is inside Parallels home directory, and sudo cat and then all dot. Okay, still not there. Let's try to switch user StarAgile. Okay, let's see, test is there. Home StarAgile. Okay, home parallels. Wait. Let's get the password of the user. Authentication failure. Do we really have that user? The name, passwd, grep, parallel. It's there. Okay, let's try one more time. Okay, let's see this test.txt. File.txt is there or not? Yeah, see, so now it is appending up here. What was that file? We'll see that again. Home parallel StarAgile and file.txt. Okay, so why it did not happen? Because it does not directly creates any directory here. So there is no such directory called StarAgile which is present inside /home/parallels. So this redirection works when you just want to provide the information of the file. So if we create this directory, then it might, you know, add up depending if it has a permission or not. So if it has, then it's good. Otherwise, what we can do is, let's just see this. We'll just tweak our cron. Say cron tab. Okay, let's go then the bottom and then change it to parallels and then new file. Okay, let's just try to verify this. So show parallels and then new file. In next minute, it should automatically being executed and it should automatically being shown up there. It will show up. So let's just wait for a minute to complete. Sudo lsl new grep-i new and start from /home/parallels. Sudo okay, it's a directory. We can grab from the directory. That is fine, expected. Let's just see home parallels. HRT. Cron tab -L, it will list down. So it's not currently showing up here because there is no cron tab was set for this user here. If you want to set it, you can set it using same command cron tab -E. There might be some changes in the configuration that is needed. What we did to set up the cron jobs for parallel user from some other user account. So if you would want to set it, you can use cron tab command, and that will definitely will create the file and then append it that we have already seen before. So that's about cron jobs. What if you would want to use the not to reschedule the task all the time? What happens after that, right? So there's a requirement to schedule a task only at once, not at the multiple times. So you can use, there is another one-time task called AT. So you can use AT command, and then you can use, like, let's say echo what you want to run. Let's say I say ls-al AT, and you can just pass on time. Okay, so this will execute. It's showing you that the commands will be executing using /bin/sh. This is a shell, and job number 6 at time this. So whenever this time will come, it will execute this in the parallel. So atq command is there to check what all one-time job that is being set already. So with the user parallel, there is one job number 6 which is set, and then this is a job that we have set up at 3:30. This is what the time it says. After that, you can interactive input you can provide. Let's say AT 3:30 p.m. So it will open a shell for the AT itself. You don't have to provide which command. Here you can let's say /home ls /home/parallels, and then Control D. So it will save automatically as a job number 7. So if you look at atq command, it will show there are 2 AT jobs which are present. One is at 3:30. One is one we have set up with this one ls-al. Another one we have set up ls/home/parallels. So as soon as this time will catch up, at the time this command will be automatically executed, and it will just be executed only once. So that is what AT is. And if you would want to remove the scheduled task for this AT, you can use command AT-RM. RM is for remove, AT is just that one-time jobs, AT-RM, and then job ID. So let's say I want to remove 6, so I can remove 6. Now if you validate ATQ, there is only one job which is present, which is 7, and not the 6. After that, let's say if you would want to run in 2 hours or something, so you can I'm just trying to explain all these use cases with respect to users they might have in their real scenarios. So let's say somebody has a command that they would want to echo, let's say echo hi, this is me, and then when you would want to run it, you want to run it 80 now plus 2 hours, means execute this, hello, this is me, just print this, but when? After 2 hours from now. So this will be set up. So if you look at ATQ, you see there is one more 80 jobs that has set up as with the ID 8. Okay, and if you would want to check the logs for cron and AT, you can use command grep cron, then var log. We discussed in our file hierarchy topic that where is a directory where all the loggings and stuff are being stored. So syslog we will be discussing in detail as well. but this is just to grab the cron keyword from the syslog, that file. So all the things which are related to the cron will be showing up here, what kind of a cron that you have. So this is this is that same cron. We were struggling to find this file. It was set up by this user, and then it was kind of trying to append this file. So all these details of the cron, you can see the logs, what all crons has been set up and what all AT has been set up here. So this is a helpful command actually. Let's just I just want to see if this is still created or not. Okay, it's not there. Okay, it's still not yet created. Some glitch or some issue, maybe in a syntax or something that we would have done. We can check that later, not a problem. What about AT jobs that you would want to see? So you can see AT logs, you can see in the var log AT. So if I say var log and AT, so this directory usually creates var spool, var logs spool. Okay, it's not there. Usually it creates that var spool logs just to check the AT logs. Yeah, so otherwise we can see wherever it is created. So there might be some location where the AT logs usually gets created. What if you would want to set up a reminder that is a one-time reminder at, let's say, 2:55 p.m. So you can set something like, you can set up an email and stuff as well. Notification send of a reminder, meeting at 3 p.m. So let's say if somebody has a meeting at 3 p.m. and if you would want it to be remind you on the system and it automatically prints out to you, so you can set up something like this as a one-time job. And what time? Let's say 2:55 p.m. 5 minutes before, so that you can get some time to prepare for the buffer thing. So there might be some syntax thing. Let me just check. Go notification send reminder, meeting at 3 p.m. at 2:55 p.m. Okay, there is currently no event, but go notification send. Okay, so it's unable to recognize this exclamation mark. What we will do is, let's change our reminder, meeting at 3 p.m. and let it be like this at 2:55 p.m. Okay, now it will allow you to create this. Maybe because of this exclamation mark, there might be some backspace needed or something to ignore this, but as soon as we remove this exclamation mark, this error was gone, and now we are able to execute the AT jobs. If you look at ATQ, you will see there are 3 AT jobs are being scheduled at this moment. Let's delete all of them, and then you would not see any of the AT jobs has been scheduled. So this was all about process management, and then after that scheduling things. In the process management, we saw PS commands, htop commands, htop commands. Htop commands is kind of a real-time logs and real-time processes that it shows, where various components of CPU usage and memory usage we saw. After that, we discussed about the scheduling tasks, how to schedule tasks, how to reoccur and modify the task, how to remove the task. And if you have a requirement for the one-time tasks, not to schedule every time or a particular time, you can have it for one time. So you can use AT command to do the same. Then we saw how to delete those tasks and commands. So that's about the process management and the task scheduling in this topic.
If you want to learn Linux and get certified from IBM, click on this link given below in the description. That's a wrap for this chapter. I'll meet you in the next episode of this Linux series.